Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I am here with my great pal, Erin Ammons. It says they're building an audience, so I want to be sure that we're horizontal and not vertical. How are we doing? Hello. But today we are going to be talking with Erin a little bit about her journey into becoming a photographer. Because believe it or not, she was actually the first person that I mentored.
Yay!
I was literally just starting my business myself. It was early 2013, I think. Mm-hmm. And she emailed me wanting to learn a little bit more about her camera and take better pictures. And I remember having all of this. I mean, she was a friend, so I felt very comfortable. But at the same time, I remember having feelings of what are people going to think if I'm mentoring somebody? Hey, Angie.
Hey.
So I had a lot of anxiety or doubts about, was it okay for me to mentor? Was it okay for me to help somebody? Because I was still so early in the journey.
I think you literally said, "Are you sure you want me to?"
I know, really? So it was a process. And you know what? I had to really tell myself that we own our business because we want to run our business our way. And we have to really put aside all of those fears of judgment of other photographers or other entrepreneurs. What if they think I'm not good enough to mentor? Because at the end of the day, mentoring somebody is just helping somebody, whether it's paid or for free or you're just friends. You can be friends and mentor. So I had to really push a lot of that to the side and just kind of, follow that gut that I've always had to help people. And I'm so glad that I did.
So glad you did.
I know. 'Cause we've really built this great relationship. We live right up the street from each other. We take little mom walks together. We do our photo swap every year. We do our Christmas card pictures for each other.
Sometimes too.
Yes, and sometimes in the spring, and it's so fun. So I just wanted to have that little talk about, if you've been having thoughts about being a mentor or somebody has asked you for help, don't worry about what other people think. This is your business. This is your platform. All that I will say is that you need to be sure that you have a genuine heart for teaching and education and that you actually want that person to succeed.
Yes.
So the whole time, I literally wanted Erin to succeed. I was kind of hoping she would shoot weddings so that she could shoot with me. But she didn't take that route. And we're gonna get into that. But Erin and I also have something about us that's very different, which I'm going to let her talk about, which is the fact that she was a stay-at-home mom before she started her business, where when I quit teaching, I did not quit teaching to be a stay-at-home mom. I quit teaching to be an entrepreneur and a business person. So we have a lot of differences, but they actually complement each other pretty well, because I always call her when my kids are sick or I don't know how to potty train.
I got a mommy question.
I'm like, help me. So I'm going to let Erin take over and tell you a little bit about her journey and her version of meeting.
Right. Yeah. So I knew Liz from college. We have some mutual friends. So in 2013, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had my youngest, who was maybe 8 months old, I think is when I reached out to her. So I was a English teacher up until 2010. I was taught 6th grade English over at Virginia Beach Middle School. Loved it. It was wonderful, and it was years well spent, and I loved my job, but I knew that when my oldest was born, there was no way that I was going to be able to continue working full-time, teaching full-time, mainly for financial reasons. I knew childcare, especially in Hampton Roads, is insane. And we knew that we wanted more than one kid, probably close together. We wanted at least 2 kiddos. And I knew that if I had another kid eventually, that I was going to be broke. There was no way that, my entire teacher salary would be going for someone else to take care of them. So I made the choice, and our family did, for me to stay home with them, and it was awesome, and I loved it. And when I was pregnant the first time, I know it was hard, and we sacrificed a lot. We were totally broke, but it was great. We also did not own a house at the time.
Wait a minute.
So,
you had a couponing blog too.
I did have a couponing blog. So even then, I had that little entrepreneur spirit. I was like, I need, I was home with the kids, and I was like, I need some sort of outlet. And I had She Lives on Less. That was my blog.
Such a catchy title.
And my family is on here. I think my mom, she was the only one that read my blog. So, but I was really into the couponing. It was, around 2011, it was the thing to do. And it was really popular, and I just loved it. But even that didn't completely fill me up, because I still have that artist side of me, and I needed more. But we had our Canon Rebel, And I had that thing in auto mode, and I was taking 800 pictures a week of
That's
my baby.
That's a great starter camera, by the way. A lot of
Yes.
people ask me about starter cameras. Canon Rebel. I'm not Canon, but I know it's the starter camera.
And the Rebels that are on the market now are 10 times better than what I had in 2010. So, but I love that thing. I just had the kit lens that was on it exactly how it came out of the box, and I had no idea what I was doing. I loved it. And then sometime after my second was born.
Hi, Emily. Emily's a former teacher as well.
She's waving, hey, girl. So my husband bought me a 50 millimeter 1.8. And so it was around that time I think I had set them up and done a really bad attempt at a post-Christmas card picture of them. And I think I had the 50 and I was like, hey, Liz, I'm still frustrated with my camera. How do I fix this? And she was like, well, there's an M on the top and that means manual mode. And then you won't have blurry pictures anymore. So I totally did that. And then she let me follow along on some shoots with her because I had no idea what I wanted to photograph. I was basically taking pictures at birthday parties, friends' kids, my kids, just anything I could get my hands on. Literally. But unfortunately, I did not go down the track of weddings. I did second shoot for 2 of them, I think. Maybe early, later on in 2013. And then the business launched in August of 2013. So, but I had a period of portfolio building and which Liz helped me on the whole time. She's got such a heart for the newbies. And so she helped me every step of the way with that. So I don't know. Yeah.
Your path, Erin's path has been very much what I believe in, which is the slow and steady growth. So you start taking pictures for all your friends for free, basically. And then you start charging, a little bit. Once you have strangers, ready for you to take their pictures, you charge a little bit. Emily says, you're made for the camera. I love it.
Paid you.
Promo video time. But I really believe in slow and steady growth. So you shoot for free in the beginning, just to get practice. And then you shoot at a respectable but low price, like $100 right out the gate. And then, once you have people that don't know you contacting you and you're booking at that price, then you do the slow climb of now I'm going to do 125, now I'm going to do 150.
And get more legit. She took me down to the courthouse, we went together, and I got my business license, and I cried. I was emotional. So emotional because I knew that I was ready to take it more seriously. But even then, it was still half hobby, not real, completely real job. I was just a mom at home, and I felt like I couldn't really give myself permission yet. But it was hard because I think I had all that mom guilt because I had chosen to stay at home, and now I was kind of, rerouting my ship a little bit and wanting to do more and work more. So that just, I really had to work through some of those feelings. We have guilt for everything as mothers, I think. But to leave them at night multiple times a week to go out and shoot, to try to, juggle childcare. Me and my husband, I didn't really hire. I couldn't afford to hire anybody else to come and watch them. It was either, my mom when she could after work, or just between me and my husband trying to make it work.
Yeah, because it's actually one of the questions I was asked at the career fair I just went to is, what's one of the most difficult things about your job? And it's actually the childcare struggle because we like to shoot at golden hour, which is not always ideal for our husband's schedule. A lot of weekends. Yeah. It's not your typical 9-to-5 childcare situation, so there's a lot of juggling and, swapping the kids over to the parents and all of that good stuff. And I am going to give my quick business license tip because she brought up getting a business license.
Absolutely.
I've helped a couple of people go get their business license because there's a couple of reasons why it's so important in the beginning. And as far as photography goes, the city of Virginia Beach will say you need a license if you're even making $1. Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there. My big belief in the business license is that you're going to take yourself more seriously. So the second you go to that courthouse and you have that piece of paper in your hand, you're like, okay, I am legit doing this to make money. I am not just taking pictures of my cousin Susie and whoever. And I feel like there's a confidence that comes with that. And that's really the part of it that I preach so much because it's telling your customers and your clients that you take yourself seriously, and it's telling yourself that you take yourself seriously. Yeah. So Erin told us a little bit about her journey and a little bit about her struggles with the mom guilt.
Yes.
And now she's at this point where she's transitioning. I think you've been more than a hobby ever since you got that piece of paper. But she was working very part-time, taking her family to Disney World. Making good, part-time money. And now she's in the transition of my kids are older and they're in school, and now she's wanting to make it a full-time gig. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's kind of, thrilling and also terrifying. But it has been, my income is basically what I've put into the business. So I'm earning a really great part-time income, and maybe that's me actually, working on the business, 15 to 20 hours a week, which is great. And I'm just so hungry to do more. And thankfully, I'm at the point, we're almost 4 years into this, where I've steadily grown, slow and steady, like a turtle. But I'm getting there. And now that my girls are getting older, pretty soon I'm going to have two, in elementary school all the time. So it's surreal. But I'm excited. I think that's going to open me up to be able to have legit business hours and not just like 6 a.m., 8 p.m., whenever, lunchtime, like whenever I can actually get to it. But having some more time, and then I'm going to feel less guilty. I already do feel less guilty about it because it is, it's really helping my family a lot. And in the beginning, it was just like, oh, we got a little bit of, extra. We're going to go get this, or I'm going to buy this lens, or we're going to go on a trip or something. And it's really readjusted my thinking. And this is going to be my job, and I have no desire now to really go back and teach. I don't want to be in the classroom right now. I love the flexibility of owning my own business. I know that I can grow it as big as I want to. That's completely up to me and how much time I put in. So I'm really excited about it. I've just got different things in the works and different phases of the business now, which will hopefully continue to grow. But again, I'm not trying to be the biggest, baddest, family photographer on the block. I'm just trying to, bless my family and bless, the families that I photograph. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And Erin has really, really stepped up her game. She's listening to
Emily.
She's listening to podcasts. She did our master plan for 2017, which I feel like she made this decision at the new year, and she's like, this is going to no longer be just a hobby. Like, this year I really want to make a salary. Yeah. She was like, Liz, I kind of had, a point where, I wasn't taking businesses seriously and I was trying other things, and now I'm ready to hit the ground running and really make this a salary. And she's in our goal setting group.
Yes.
So we have a group that we touch base every single Sunday night or Monday morning, and we set a goal for the week, one business goal. Right. Because imagine what our year is going to look like when we look back, and we've accomplished 52 goals for our business. And
it's been huge for me.
Yeah.
Just to have a concrete one thing. Like, I know I have 8 million things that I want to do every week, and I have lots of different hats that I have to put on, but just saying, okay, in concerns to Erin Ammons Photography, what is the absolute one thing that I want to get done this week? And I just focus on that. And I'm hitting that goal by like Tuesday, and I'll check in, in Liz's group, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm done, here's where I'm at. And I have time for more things, it's such a feeling of accomplishment. It's really helped me.
Yeah. I feel like there's a bridge that we cross over in the entrepreneur life, or being a photographer, that is like, you're doing well and you're making money, but then there's like another hump that you get over that's like, now I'm a badass entrepreneur. Like, now this is all I can think about. It's legit fun and relaxing for me to sit at my computer and plan out my weeks and plan out my schedule. You want to listen to podcasts all the time. You want to read all the time. It's kind of a switch that gets flipped. And it's funny that this Facebook Live is going in so many different directions, but a lot of that stems from the community that we have and the support that we have for each other, not just Erin and I, but everybody. It's really, really big. And another thing that Erin has done a really good job of, and she did a good job of early, is learning how to say no. So she knew right away that she wanted to focus on families and newborns. I think you were like 1 or 2 weddings, you got your feet wet, and you were like, nope, families are my jam. So tell them a little bit about how you discovered that you wanted to shoot just families and newborns, and then why you did it.
When you're first starting out, I think there's nothing wrong with taking everything and just, you need to figure out what you like. If you don't try it, there's no way that you're really going to know. And I've tried a little bit of everything. And I just knew after a while that my heart was just pulled to families. It was pulled to photographing newborns, photographing them my way too, specifically. So that was an organic process, but I feel like that helped me in the long run, because it wasn't like I was struggling for 2 or 3 years trying to figure out what I even wanted to photograph. Like, I luckily was able to kind of niche down early on and decide, this is, I can't do everything, and but I can do a couple of things really well. And that's where I decided to focus. And then only little ones, the teaching aspect, I talk about like mentoring, being scared to like mentor and teach other people. I mean, I started that like a year and a half ago. Like I was still fairly new photographer, but because I have that teaching background too, like Liz, I just had the heart for it. And that's a whole other side of my business now that is just so exciting. And I'm just thinking about different ways to serve those people. But it's still really hard to say no. As women, we tend to say yes, a lot. It's really difficult you don't want to disappoint people and you want to help people. But, no, I don't want to photograph birthday parties, and I love homecomings, but I have to say no to them because I just can't be available. And it hurts my client. Like, my clients are like so sad about it. But I always like refer them to somebody awesome because I'm like, I just can't guarantee you that I'll be there. And even though that's a hard no for me, it has helped my family to go ahead and say no. I know my limits. I know how much time a week I can put in. I know my responsibilities to my family come first, and I'm passionate about the business, but I know what I like to do. So throwing my energy in one direction instead of 10 is really helpful. But it took a while for me to learn that. I was like failing for a while, for sure.
Yeah, one of my big things for 2017 for myself is to focus more on doing what I love to do and what brings me joy. I mean, I feel like I was already doing that with the things that I shoot, but just focusing more energy on the business side of things that I really, really love to do. And then in my life as well, trying to make time to read and walk and, do all those things because we get so buried in our
self-care.
business.
Self-care.
And you guys, I'm seeing the comments. I didn't want to interrupt Erin, but definitely feel free to throw in any questions if you have questions on anything that we talked about, whether it's the business license or the goal setting group. We're going to be wrapping up in just a minute here. But I was just really excited to share a little bit about Erin, considering she's the first person that I mentored back in 2013, and she is
so lucky.
Definitely one of my success stories. I really like to brag about my girls and the growth that they have and the amazing pictures that she's taking. And it is possible. I know a lot of you photographers are like the only way to make a living is to shoot weddings, and that's not true. You can definitely be a successful family, newborn photographer, and niche down to just that, boudoir, and make a legit living. It's not like weddings is the only way.
Especially if you don't love it. I mean, that was going to come out. If I tried to trace after weddings, I mean, you're going to be able to tell in my images it's not where my passion is. So I think don't fool yourself and just follow your own heart.
Yeah, and it works because I can't take on all the families that I want to shoot, so I'm able to refer Erin. I don't really shoot newborns, so I'm able to refer her for that. And I do enjoy families, but what I found about shooting families is the referrals are like wildfire, which is awesome. Yeah. But it was like I would photograph one family and then boom, I've got 5 that want their pictures taken, and then my calendar was getting too tight that I couldn't serve my brides and my mentoring the way that I wanted to.
Which is your number one.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And it's hard because I do love to shoot families, especially my VIPs, the people that have been with me since the beginning.
I know.
So I always try to fit in a little bit here and there, but Erin's the family master.
I just love it. Not a master, just love it.
Oh my gosh. And kids are difficult. I tell people all the time, the difference in photographing kids is that the kids make the rules. Like, there's no posing. There is, we sit back and we wait and pray that our settings are good enough to catch that kid moving. Whereas with the couples, I can really pose them.
Well, when we do our swap ones, I'll be like, try this, and you were like, oh, I'm doing your smooth technique. Do you remember that one?
She has a great spin technique for family photographers.
Yeah.
And then with the Only Little Ones, her DSLR class, that's really cool too, because I found out that I do not love teaching people how to use their camera, mainly because I'm Nikon and I feel like 75% of the earth is Canon and I don't know how to use them.
Sorry.
But I really, really find joy in helping people discover what they love to do and how to make a living doing that. And she really loves the techie, teach them how to use their camera and take better pictures of their children.
And inspire them to pick up their camera, more, and not just their phone. That's like a whole other side tangent, of the workshops. And I'm like, it's so important to print your pictures. And I could talk about that forever.
I know, all the things. So is there anything else you want to share about your business or anything you have going on right now that you want to blast? Or...
I have another Only Little Ones class is coming up in March, and that's on my website, and the link to sign up is on there. And then,
so moms with a camera that's collecting dust, sign up for her Only Little Ones class. Learn how to use that camera, because my philosophy is, if you have a fancy camera and you don't know how to use the settings, you might as well use your iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have that $400 to $600 camera in your closet, learn how to use it. Contact Erin. She does have a brand new website that is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
By April from Paper Dolls. We'll give April a shout out because I love
Paper
her.
Dolls Design. Look it up if you need a new website.
Yeah, she's fabulous. She did my Creatives Live Happy website. So I guess that's it for the day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I enjoyed having her in the studio. And we had a little bit of an audience. I saw some people popping in.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much for coming. If you are interested in the goal setting group that we talked about, we are still taking people into that group. The membership lasts a year, so just shoot me an email if you're interested. We set a goal every single week. Some people are a little bit intimidated by it, but a lot of us in the group are moms. I mean, there has been a week where I'm like, y'all, I don't have daycare this week. My goal is to survive and do like one social media post. I mean, we are very realistic, but we're also, we also take our businesses very seriously. So I feel like it's definitely a level up for all of us.
It's that accountability. So if you feel like you don't have that right now, and maybe you don't want to have to rely on a close friend or your spouse, and you need something outside of your, inner circle, then it's a great place to be, for sure.
We set goals, and then we touch base on what went well, what didn't go well. And Angie is really good at strategizing. So she's like, don't just say you're going to get 50, new newsletter subscribers. She's like, say how. So I have to say, okay, my goal this week is to get 50 new newsletter subscribers, and I'm going to do this by promoting it by doing X, Y, and Z. Or I'm going to book a wedding this week, but I'm going to do it by, we have to actually have our strategies in place, which Angie's so good at. So yeah, it's been really good.
And Holly's our cheerleader in there. She's amazing.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that about newsletters too. Erin started her newsletter like a year ago.
Yeah.
Before I even started, maybe even longer than that.
I don't know. I love it.
We were on the newsletter train before it got all hot and heavy out there.
It's helpful. It is really helpful. I got to get to my people.
Yes. And I'm finding Facebook groups. If you're struggling on Facebook group to reach your audience, I'm really finding that the groups help because, they get those notifications and they see the things that I post. So if you're struggling with Facebook, don't be afraid to make a group. Just be really intentional about how you gather your people for that group. So I guess that's it. I could talk all day about my people. Like Sharon Elizabeth, there's my shout out to you. My people. My people.
The people.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.